Welcome to Was It Good? We are celebrating a very special occasion. We are recording our 200th episode. Yes, this podcast that reviews movies and TV shows has done 200 episodes as of the taping of this podcast. I am Ravi.
I am Krishna.
And I'm Arjuna.
And we are Was It Good?
I made sure not to enjoy, I just wanted to see you guys do it. It was quite cute.
No one left.
And I totally
You smiled though.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
And I totally messed up the camera, so it was just on Ravi while you guys were saying it.
That's
And it's
incredible.
totally nonplussed, like,
Yeah, so it looks like you look like an asshole.
Basically. Guys, 200 episodes. I figured we could, before we jump into like news of the week, checking in on Attack on Titan and how that's all going, I figured we could kind of take a quick look back at 200 episodes, right? We've obviously reviewed a crap ton of movies, TV shows, and I'd like to know from both of you your favorite thing we've reviewed and your least favorite thing that you've reviewed.
Nice.
I love the fake surprise that.
Oh yeah, no, you
like
gotta act
didn't
like,
know that was
you gotta
coming.
act like, in the moment, like, oh, I'm gonna come up with this on the moment, and then you have an
Wait.
answer.
I don't remember what we reviewed.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
You or Juna, the notorious note taker, have a document that has everything
What?
listed out there. Yeah,
I do.
you should make
Useful
it a
sometimes.
public-facing, viewable document.
Yeah, my plan was to do that when we have enough fans to warrant it.
That's
Wow.
disturbing.
Wow.
Anyway, who wants to go first?
I think as our host, you should go first.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go last.
No,
All right,
you
well,
should.
I'll go first.
Yeah, as Christian's the eldest.
I'm the eldest. The favorite thing that we have
Don't say
reviewed,
it.
and it's gonna be, and I'm sorry, it's Triple Frontier, and here's why. This is the reason it's my favorite, because you two have totally blown out of proportion what I said about that thing, and it is the gift that keeps on giving. You guys will never let it die or go, and so it brings me great joy when you both bring up.
It
Triple
is one of
Frontier.
our most referenced episodes.
It's the most
here
referenced
at the Was It
episode.
Good podcast.
Clearly,
It is
and
100%
it brings me great joy that Triple Frontier just keeps living rent free in both of your heads, and so it is the gift that will never die.
So Christian leans all the way into the bit.
Yes.
Nice.
Your favorite thing?
Brothers, we have reviewed many things.
Oh, about to say, I'm like, I don't remember the show.
I don't remember reviewing something
What
called
is
Brothers.
Over the
Brothers.
years.
Do we review Step Brothers? We should go actually real quick. We should when it's a slower like month or whatever. We should review like some old Will Ferrell.
Just older,
Movies.
just old. We
Older
have
movies.
done.
You
A
know
few
what the problem
throwbacks.
is, though?
Yeah.
There will never ever be a slow month ever again. There's too much streaming.
Oh, wait till
services.
we get into my least favorite thing and we
Ooh.
can get into that whole
Content.
conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
I already know
that,
what it
that's
is.
certainly, we've reviewed a lot of things over the last 4 years. We've been doing this podcast for 4 years.
2018.
January of 2018 was when we first recorded and published. Thanks to the OGs that have stuck with us for all 200s. Hi, Mom and Dad. And Michael. And I think for me, my favorite thing that we ever reviewed probably has to be, and this is a little bit of cheating because it's 2, but I think being in the moment for Infinity War and Endgame was really special because that was like the culmination of, at that time,
10 years.
about 10, 11 years of, Marvel content. And being able to react to that was special, especially because I believe the way we did both those episodes was we saw them Thursday night, Friday morning, and then came back and we did the pod. And just had kind of that genuine reaction and emotion. And I think we brought that to a lot of these podcasts. And that to me was kind of the creme de la creme.
Not seeing
peaked.
Spider-Man No Way Home
We peaked.
at 5 a.m.
I mean, Spider-Man's a great one as well. Spider-Man was a really fun experience, and that was a fun podcast as well. But that one was a good one, and there's been a lot. Like Black Panther was fun. Star Wars Rebels, reviewing the finale and the final season of that was a really good one, and even some of our more obscure ones, Bandersnatch. I don't know if you guys remember when we did that. That was a fun thing to kind of review.
Oh, that was fun.
And even some of the more like the other properties, the non-superhero stuff, like Squid Games and
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan. Obviously, we've done a ton of, so good stuff all around.
And all the Gerard Butler movies.
There have been
Oh,
quite
man.
a few. Isn't there that new one that is like another end of the world.
Well, there's
one?
Moonfall, but he's not in that, unfortunately.
No.
He's
Know
not.
of.
No, surprise cameo.
Oh, I'm watching it. For
I mean,
the cameo.
it is. What's
If
his
he's not
face
in
that
it-
does Independence Day and Stargate is doing Moonfall.
Roland
Roland.
Emmerich.
Roland Emmerich.
Wouldn't-
Roland.
Wouldn't Gerard Butler be the perfect Fast and the Furious villain?
Yes.
Like, how have they not cast him in that yet?
Well, we do have some Fast
I
and
know.
Furious
I'm
news.
teasing. It was a tease.
For
It was a
Was It News.
tease. We do have Fast and Furious news coming up.
Whoa! I didn't even look. Is he gonna be in?
No.
You'll have to find out.
Oh yeah. Or is he? There we go.
I mean, sounds like he is. If I scroll down, I'll probably see it.
No.
My favorite thing is going to have to be the roller coaster. It's not any one particular thing, but I think it has to be just kind of Star Wars in general. Because in the last, as Arjun said, 4 years, right? Like Star Wars back in 2018 when we started this whole pod and started reviewing content, Star Wars back then to what Star Wars is right now, very wildly, very, very different. There's a hell of a lot more content. There's a lot more polarized fans out there. Like there's 3 or 4 different crazy fan groups, and I don't even know where we fall in there. I think we're all over the place. So getting to review Star Wars all over these years has been just a very fun thing because I know for myself, certain things within Star Wars I have grown to dislike, grown to re-like, etc.
Are you
my view
admitting
has changed
on the 200th episode of Was It Good
Do it.
that you maybe potentially
Yes.
like episode 8
Yeah.
more than you have?
That was almost going to be my favorite thing.
Oh, wow.
Also, because of your reaction to
Oh,
it and
wow.
how much I liked it.
I'll tease this. I do want to revisit each trilogy on this pod
That
in
would be fun.
2022 at some point. So I'm gonna hold my answer to that until we get to that point.
That's
very-
what we
very
call,
mature.
folks, a professional tease.
It's very mature of you.
Thank you.
I don't know why I said that.
But yeah, Star Wars in general, I think has been the favorite thing to review because again, we also dive into just insane bold predictions and crazy things.
You know what's
here.
honestly crazy? When we started this podcast, Solo hadn't even come out yet. It came out 5-6 months after we started.
Yeah.
And we were all hating on that movie. We were like, this movie's gonna suck. And
It's one of the better ones.
We all liked it. We all said it was good.
You know why? It's because our expectations were so low for it.
True.
Because of
And
episode
then
8.
so it could only over deliver. Because honestly, I had less than 0.
And
ended up
remember
having some fun with
Remember
it.
episode 9 with in front of the pod Julian? We got to tape that thing twice because someone
Jesus.
forgot to hit record or something fucked up.
The mic was
Oh,
mic's all fucked.
It was
Yeah.
was amazing. First of all, that was
Two-
almost my
two-
least favorite one is the recording that twice. Talking about that shit.
Speaking of least favorites, I'll start this off. The
Oh.
least favorite thing, and this I kind of teased this to Christian in terms of what my least favorite thing has been to review, and I'm not gonna pick what I'll pick kind of an era, if you will, and I would say it's the start of 2021 because at the start of 2021, WandaVision came out, and then since WandaVision came out, and this is something that we have all discussed together and indirectly with each other in terms of when it comes to this pod and reviewing, weekly content and weekly TV shows.
in the moment versus a full picture.
Yeah. And WandaVision, while it was to start very unique, very, interesting, pulled a lot of people in, got the whole Mephisto conversation going, and there was a big social reaction. That also was kind of the start of us jumping into Disney Plus weekly content and putting out pods every week. And unfortunately, it became more of a chore than an enjoyment thing because it was one of those things where you're doing so much homework for all of this content, and we were losing out, I think, to a degree in terms of the enjoyment of watching it and being able to naturally come across the Easter eggs as opposed to, all right, I just watched an episode, guess I have to go to the internet and look at every fucking frame. And it's that to me was the start of where we did a fucking ridiculously good job. The majority of our pods for 200 episodes came in 2021, and it came because we decided to go 2 episodes a week and because we had so much fucking content to review. So while it was a cool thing, it was also kind of a negative thing in the sense of it became more work than enjoyment.
Yeah, and we've obviously played around with weeklies before. We did weeklies for Game of Thrones. We did weeklies for like Lovecraft.
Yep.
We did weeklies for Watchmen, a little bit. So, but you're right. I think when Marvel and Disney finally entered that fray, it became more of just like more than just reacting to the content. It also became like you had to do this ridiculous amount of homework to keep up because it was such a rampant speculation. That was the conversation around it. It was everything has meaning to it, and it did become this big dissection.
And it's like it's one of those things like you and I have talked where, you know, we have obviously we're doing week to week with Boba Fett. Because our whole thinking, right, was when we did Mandalorian season 2, we saw a lot of return, like, you know, ROI, right? To throw a corporate term out, where we're doing week to week, we got a lot of like views, engagement, etc. Book of Boba Fett, unfortunately, because it has not been as popular,
Has not been a banger.
has not been a big banger. You know, it has not necessarily done as well as like one would hope. I do think going forward, we definitely need to be a little bit more calculated, I think, in terms of what are we doing week to week as opposed to, all right, let's just like finish it and be done, right? The beautiful thing with like Netflix, it all comes out at once, like Archive 81, which none of you two fucks have bothered to watch yet.
Squid Games.
Squid Games.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, yeah.
Never
those ones are fun because you get to watch it and then be done with it as opposed to the weekly.
Yeah.
And I think like we do have to kind of figure out what makes sense. You know?
Which shows do potentially warrant that level of detail versus what do we just kind of let go, watch, and then talk about?
I would
later?
argue, like, this is the cool thing with pods, right? The whole idea is to have a conversation and discuss it and figure it out. I think you hit the nail on the head with Lovecraft. Right. Lovecraft is a show that was weekly, and that makes sense to me to put out a pod each week because not only we're not familiar necessarily with the books and everything, and they're not wildly as popular as like a Marvel or Star Wars property. That you get is more enjoyable because you're all figuring it out together,
right?
As opposed to a property like WandaVision, there's so much comic book history behind it already, and everyone is looking for all the specifics. Not only that, right? The weekly podcast market is oversaturated.
What?
There's everybody and their mother. Even I think our mother joked at one point that she was going to put out a weekly podcast. Because what is it? Not the price. Yeah, I guess like the price of admission, if you will, like is so low and easy to get into it, which is great, but it is so oversaturated. Yeah. So I think it really comes down to like, I would make the argument like we don't need to do the Disney thing
right
as a weekly. Right.
Well,
anymore.
It depends.
I mean,
I think there are some things.
Put
I
it this
think
way.
Yeah.
Mandalorian season 3, for
Kenobi,
example, right?
yeah.
Potentially Kenobi.
Yeah.
But I think
Oh,
we can,
every stuff, every Disney
Oh, you
Plus
mean
stuff?
every show?
Exactly.
But
I
like
think-
what's the one that's coming out like Moon Knight?
yeah.
I don't know if Moon Knight is going to deserve.
That looks awesome.
I don't know if it's going to be something where it needs a weekly pod. Like I think what we've done in the past where it's like episode 1 initial reaction, and then just kind of keep your eye on it.
Keep an eye and then talk about it is the whole content.
Yeah.
I think also like to peek behind the curtain from like to our audience, like when we started this podcast, one of our big kind of mandates and staples were we have to be passionate about it. We have to care about it.
Yeah, we have to give a fuck
to like actually do it. And I think it's just like continuing to have these conversations and also not being afraid of like, you know, looking back at Book of Boba. And I think we had this discussion too of like, after the first few episodes, if we're not feeling it, we don't have to keep doing it weekly.
That's
like
true.
We can, like, if episode 6 sucks, who says we need to record that on Wednesday?
I swear to God.
Me.
Actually, I think you all agree. I think you'll all agree with me. If two things happen, if there is no Grogu, and if we get more fucking back to tank flashbacks, there should be no goddamn pod on because it's then at that point a massive filler.
And what we can do is we can mention like we're not reviewing this because we're gonna wait till the show's over. There wasn't a lot that happened, and we're gonna talk about something else.
Exactly,
and that's fine. And I think people want that authenticity. They don't want us to just be like, oh, I need every single episode of Book of Boba.
Yeah,
but some people do need it. I'm kidding. I agree.
Anyway, that was my long-winded
passion is number one.
That was my long-winded answer in terms of the thing I didn't like.
Oh, and one other thing. we have social media pages at Twitter, at Was It Good. Tweet us what you want to hear us talk about, and maybe we'll talk about it.
Maybe we'll ignore it. We've had some suggestions, and we're just like sometimes, oh, that's kind of hard.
Why wouldn't we tweet? What were some of the best suggestions? You don't have to answer.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I'm not throwing people under the bus.
Oh, have people given bad suggestions?
No, they're good. It's just trying to get us. And here's the other thing too. I think we should mention that there were three of us. The things that we connected the same on tend to be the big tentpole stuff.
Right.
We each have our own individual tastes, and so trying to get us three aligned on smaller properties can be a bit tough.
Right, because you guys, like, for example, neither one of you ever watched Archive 81.
I'm about also. I can go next. My least favorite thing.
Yeah.
Is live action Star Trek. I'm just, you're never gonna get me to watch Picard, Discovery.
You only did Discovery the once.
I did a few episodes. I did the first half of Discovery season 1.
Yeah.
I did 2 episodes of Picard, and they were. They were by far the least.
I did like your caveat of live action because we did get you
Lower Decks.
Oh, yeah, Lower Decks.
That's why I said live
we did.
action, because Lower Decks is
and
fantastic.
that is what I like. I do like when we bring our own things and we try to convince the others, and then we're all like, "Oh, I actually kind of do like this." Like I think Parasite, for example, was the one I brought to you guys, and I was like, "Hey,
fan-fucking-tastic.
let's watch Parasite. I think this is going to be a big movie." It ended up being like a good and enjoyable movie.
Not to
right?
toot
And
my own horn, but I did Attack on Titan.
That's true.
Was me to you guys.
Right.
That's true. It was, yeah.
Invincible was our
And not
producer
to,
to
and not
us.
to toot my own horn, Archive 81
Will be.
You're going to
I
love
will,
it.
I will try.
be.
I will try.
I swear to God, if you do not watch Archive 81, I will kill you.
I'm gonna
What if I
watch it.
watch it?
I'm gonna
And then
watch it.
stuck-
I'm gonna watch it.
And I hate it.
No, hold on. And then I'm going to summon the space time traveling VHS
Spoilers.
demon and shove you in a VHS tape.
Well, to tease something later, I'm going to try and convince everyone here to watch Kuroko's
Kuroko's
basketball
basketball.
Surprise! I already
on
started.
Netflix.
Wait, really?
All
We
3
said that
seasons
at the
and a
same
movie.
time, by the way.
I know.
Did
Because
you like it?
you're going to watch
I
it.
will save it
I
for
already
Christian's
have.
pitch. But no, live action Star Trek that makes honestly complete sense.
Yeah, it's
not a big surprise.
It's at a low point in its history. Let's be honest. the Star Trek.
What about the whale movie you made me
Television-
watch?
That was good. Did we do a pod? What did
That
we
was the
do?
100th episode.
That was the 100th
We
episode,
we challenged each other to watch something.
And I watched Mad Max.
You did not watch it.
I just have
You lie.
I have a quick story to tell around that movie. So recently, I got to see friend of the podcast, Julian. And I told Julian about this movie that you both made me watch.
The whale one?
And he went on a 20-minute
Incredible.
monologue about how it is not bad, and in fact, it's good. I was very drunk. I was very drunk, so I don't remember all of his points. But he was passionate.
Yeah.
And I do remember him making interesting points. Now I couldn't confirm them because I haven't seen all of the Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
I don't know all the lore.
Can I?
But he was, he was.
Is this Voyage Home?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
the whale.
real
one,
quick.
yeah.
So you obviously watched that one where they go back in time to I think the late 70s or early 80s. And
That was the low budget one.
Los
Yeah.
Angeles. So Picard is the season 2 of Picard
Oh, no.
is going to take place
Oh, no.
in 2024 Los Angeles.
Oh my god.
Based on the fact that you've seen a Star Trek, like Star Trek loves to go back to Los Angeles specifically.
It's where all the
through
studios are.
decades.
It's
when-
simple.
It's Christian. I'll give you a little spoiler here. It's when the budget's low.
Oh, what? That's exactly what Julian said. He said that's why it's one of the best.
Yeah.
Because they did, in his opinion, they did so much with so little. Right. And then compared to the movie before it, I think he said, which was really bad with a higher budget, he said it was like a breath of fresh air.
Do you know why it had a low budget?
Because the one before it bombed?
I think because the script was terrible.
Oh, so they just didn't even want to, yeah. I mean, I agree.
Leonard
It's a
Nimoy
terrible
directed.
movie.
He
but-
directed and wrote it.
And that's why
Poor
they have
guy.
the whole like saving the whale thing
Yep.
because he was really
Very
into
passionate.
to a lot of
Saving
that
the
stuff.
whales.
Isn't it funny that Leonard Nimoy and what's his name who played William Shatner both directed like live action Star Trek movies?
Did you just
No,
what's
that
his
also makes
name?
sense.
William Shatner?
I
Yeah,
kind of
what's his
forgot
face?
him for a while.
Oh, Will
Anyway,
Shat.
will you watch Picard season 2 just to see them go to 2024 Los Angeles? It looks like there's police brutality in it, so it's accurate.
Oh man, that sounds like a horrible Star Trek. I don't know. Yeah. You know what? I'll watch the first episode and then so I can just rip it.
Perfect. That
There we go.
works.
I gotta catch up
In
now.
the future, there are two
I
systems
can
of
give you a quick rundown in
justice.
terms of what happens in Picard.
You kind of did like
Absolutely nothing.
yeah.
Like nothing happens.
That's fun stuff.
Except the robot body and more Botox
The
on the face.
Robo man.
God.
Junior, your least favorite thing that we've reviewed.
Say it.
Say
I
what?
have no idea. There's so many ways you could
There's
go.
so many. There's so many
avenues.
options here because we are at the we either review something we really like or we really dislike. There's very few that are like in the middle of being like
Maybe.
We always feel
maybes.
something about everything.
yeah, but I think my least favorite, our producer just wrote in Triple Frontier, and that was definitely one of my options. That was definitely
It'd be a nice full circle story from
That's
Chris's
why.
favorite
That's
to
why
your
it's my
least.
favorite.
it would be, but I'm gonna go with something I think that we all universally hated, and this is a more recent podcast,
Ooh, Carnage.
and that is
Venom.
Venom. Let There Be
Yeah,
Carnage.
that was almost mine.
And that
Truly
movie was just so bad, and I don't understand how it made that much money.
That
and why
makes it
so
worse.
Many
That makes
people,
it so much
why
worse.
so many people like the Venom franchise, right?
Is it because it's Tom Hardy and there's just Tom Hardy stands?
I
Have you guys
guess.
not been paying attention for the last couple of years? There's some really interesting choices that people make in the world.
No, I mean you're not wrong. You're not wrong, producer Michael. But
This
Yeah,
is
like people that
this
like
is
Triple
the most
Frontier.
surprising though.
but this was a pod. This is my least favorite thing, and it was actually a fun pod because it was one of those. It felt like even though we were all universally hated it, it was like an unpopular opinion that we disliked it.
which
Right.
blew our minds.
Right,
Which blows our minds.
Because on the flip side, one of my counterpoints, or two of the pods I really liked was when we reviewed Warcraft and Power Rangers, because we were also kind of counter
We were
to the
counter,
popular
yeah.
narrative to that, where we liked those while most people did not like those movies. So
Maybe there's something wrong with us.
I kind of like when we have those discussions that are just the counter popular theory, and we provide good reason. But this was just the worst movie. And I think going back to your point of like when we review the popular things, it was also like we don't always need to review the popular things because sometimes people are just wrong
Yeah.
for us.
Ooh.
Yep.
You know, and like if it sucks or we're just not into it, it's like let's like the Batman in March, right? Obviously, we're all gonna go see that movie. But if we all hate it, do we need to do a pod on it?
Impossible.
No, we'll have to do a pod. There are certain
It's
things
3
where
hours.
we have to do a pod. If we're gonna give 3 hours of our lives up, we're gonna do a fucking pod. And it's even better if we hate it, because then it's a better pod.
You won't be here when it comes out.
That's
March
true.
4th. Yeah. You just left.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big news. Christian will be going remote for these pods, so there will be a visual change to our pods coming.
Most of it being the jail cell bars.
They caught me on tax fraud.
Did the cat scare you, Arjuna?
He did. I thought he was gonna scratch me.
He probably was thinking
He's
about.
trying to get his saliva on you so that you can sneeze.
Well, if I use saliva on him, he'll sneeze.
That's not how it works.
A wild producer appears and catches the Pokemon.
Oh my goodness.
We just see a camera like collapse.
Whole thing just falls apart completely.
Well played.
So that's 200 episodes. I'm curious to see what the next 100 will do. If we maintain our current
Cadence?
cadence right now of 2 a week, we will hit it before the year's end.
Yeah.
Oh, right around actually.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
around, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's pretty insane.
We'll definitely hit it next year.
yeah.
At the very
Very least.
Yeah.
Let's move into Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is in its
Endgame.
last
Last
half
16.
of the.
Because we're 3 episodes into the half season, right?
Right.
The mid-season premiere of the new batch of episodes.
new batch of episodes.
So I think roughly probably have like 13 episodes left.
Mhm.
Ravi, there is something I think you need to discuss. I didn't put it here on the outline because I want to put
Okay.
you on the spot.
Oh, thank you.
When we did our Attack on Titan season 4 mid-season premiere, you led the charge and said that you hated the theme song.
100%.
How do you feel about it now?
I love it with a passion.
Fucking knew it.
I think it's one of the greatest theme songs out there. Actually, I was watching another YouTuber, something Grant. He's part of that Trash Taste pod that's pretty big in Japan.
Oh.
It's these 3 foreigners living in Japan that
Is this the
talk
British
about
guy?
all. He is British, yeah, he's
Yeah.
one of them. But I guess there's an anime awards. I wasn't aware of this in Japan, and it's like all the 2021, some 2022 anime, and Attack on Titan's obviously all over the place. And he said something interesting about Attack on Titan. Two things that stuck out. He was like, number one, because Attack on Titan was nominated for like best opening anime song, and he's like, no brainer, right?
Right.
Duh. But then it was also nominated like for best action anime, and he's like, Attack on Titan has had some of the lamest action sequences since specifically Mappa took over, is what he said, which I thought was interesting because what we saw in the first half of season 4, specifically around when they attack Marley, everything with the Warhammer Titan, the invasion with Paradise troops invading, that whole, like, I thought that was some of the best action I had seen. And then he's also like the more recent episode of Attack on Titan was also like pretty good action. But the point he was making, it was the action while it's there, it's also Dragon Ball-esque, where there's spouts of action and then there's a lot of drama, right? There's a lot of discussion. So I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, interesting. To be honest, that seems to be how a lot of, at least the animes I've seen, kind of play out. Action and then with some reflection,
Right.
interspersing the action. So it's an interesting take. I actually just binge watched the whole show up to the present, and season 4 is awesome. It may not have seemed like that when we were watching it week to week,
Right.
but watching it all like back to back,
yeah.
it's one of the best seasons. It's better than season 2. It's better than season 3. I think only season 1 is better than season 4.
Right, because you're being brought into the world.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
makes sense.
Right. And season 1, I forget like how much happens in season 1. It's a long season, but
It's like 26 episodes.
it's 26 episodes.
Yeah, and this one's
then-
gonna rival it. I think.
Yeah, this one's gonna be
in terms of
longer.
length.
I think it's on pace to be more.
Yeah, it's
Maybe. We'll
it's
see.
gonna be a lot.
But yeah, it's really good so far.
But everyone's enjoying everything that we're seeing so far?
Aaron got his head blown off.
Well, did he?
Yes.
He literally did.
His head comes off of his body.
separated from his body.
And me and you were both like this.
Yeah. I was pretty like, oh, he's finally dead. I actually teared up a little bit.
You teared up?
I was like, why would you kill the greatest human being ever?
The greatest human?
Yeah. He's right. Destroy everything. Fuck it.
We'll do it live.
But that's not actually what he thinks.
He wants to use the Rumble.
The Rumble.
He wants that little
Let's get
rumbly in
ready
his
to
tumbly.
rumble.
That's the name of the opening, The Rumble by
The rumbling.
Sim.
The rumbling.
The,
Right?
by the way, real quick, back to our Jonas thing. The reason I also really like the theme song is because I now have discovered a new Japanese band through it, which is Sim, and their style is very like. When we first heard the intro, I was like, "This is all over the fucking place, right?"
Yeah.
There's emo, there's like death metal, there's like punk, like what the fuck is happening? But the band Sim, that's what they specialize in, is mixing a shit ton of genres. And after listening to it like 1,000 times, I'm like, yes, this is really, really good. So much so, like I told you my Super Bowl idea and what I want to do
I was going to bring that
with
up.
that theme song. Very much.
Stay tuned. Ravi wants to put together a special video to the rumbling, the song of the second half of season 4, but set to the winners of this week's NFL action, or a Super Bowl preview, if you will. And that will be an exclusive Was It Good clip. So stay tuned for that.
You two have to like tell me though, like who makes sense for the
Yeah,
characters.
of
'cause
course.
I'm not
We'll be
gonna do that research.
we'll be storyboarding the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Tom Brady.
And just remember, all we need, like all you need, because it's like to a degree, the opening, especially this last half of the final part, right, of Attack on Titan, the opening sequence is very much typical anime, where it's like the brooding character, the looking into nothing, the fighting of the wind, the fighting of a big creature. Like it's very specific in terms of like what you would expect in like a
Very thematic.
yeah. So all we really need to do, like whoever wins, AFC division, NFC division, we just need to figure out who's the brooder, like who is like the gang, right?
And
like, all that
obviously,
fun
Arjuna,
stuff.
I don't know if you agree with this, but Ymir is clearly Roger Goodell.
I think that makes sense, and we can like easily make him look creepier than he already does.
Yeah.
It should be Tom Brady.
Yeah, Arjuna.
It all falls back to him.
Well, hold on a second. There are parts of the opening where like they. There's like quick flash frames of like this giant weird symbol in the sky. What we could do for that is just have Tom's face in the
This
sky.
is why I say Tom Brady. I'll ask you this question: On the night of the Super Bowl, if the Super Bowl happened and Tom Brady announced he's retiring that night, which story leads all news networks?
Tom Brady retiring.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's your mirror.
Yeah.
He's in control.
He is
That makes-
Ymir.
That makes more sense.
But as we found out, though, Ymir is not in control. Ymir can only do what the founding Titan
Well, it's
power
not that it's all she
asks
can
her to
do.
Belichick.
That's all she. That is all she is
Can
willing
do.
to do.
Right. Or
Yeah.
we don't exactly know yet, right?
We don't really know.
We don't know if
We didn't get
Zeke
to
is
spend that time
real.
with
We
Zeke.
don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Our producer read the last 2 chapters of the manga and knows, and he's just throwing it in our faces right now.
Yep, I know everything.
He's gonna copy and paste like the frames, and just plaster it all over outline right now. We'd be like, "Damn it, Michael!"
I mean, that was
And
my
then you get
bold
to see,
prediction for the whole season was that one of us would have the whole thing spoiled for us.
So far, so good.
So far, yeah. So far, so good.
Only minor things have been spoiled.
I'm
Like
just,
for instance, me and Ravi knew that Falco was gonna be the Jaw Titan from a YouTube video.
Oh, yeah, I remember you guys telling me
the height
that.
comparisons.
You
We're
knew
like, oh, so we know that Falco's gonna be
Yeah.
the Jaw.
Yeah, but you didn't know he'd fry his brother.
No, we didn't know.
Do you
Didn't know that one.
No.
Do you guys have any spoilers that you're keeping from the rest of us yet that you know?
no, I'm
No, I think
don't have
I'm
anything.
pretty much have given up.
Only
I think
Michael
I know it.
does.
Only Miguel.
You won't get it out of me.
That's good.
Nice.
That is good.
Do you guys want to go over your bold prediction so far, or
For the Attack on Titan?
yeah?
Sure. I mean, so mine was that this takes place on the moon of Saturn, the moon being Titan. Still in play. I haven't seen any clues though that really lends itself to that.
Have we seen the moon?
Yeah, we have. In season 2, the moon is referenced as a source of light when they're trying to find the hole in the walls that doesn't exist because the Beast Titan turned all the humans into Titans.
I think we did talk about how you might be able to see other moons.
Right. Yeah. And that moon might be a different moon of Saturn. So we don't actually know.
And then Arjuna said that's going to be Aaron versus everyone alive. That might be not happening anymore.
Yeah.
Just because of what happened this last
Seems
episode.
like it seems like Zeke might be the big bad.
yeah,
Zeke is the
seems that way.
Zeke seems like the psychopath.
Unless
Well, they're both
unless what Aaron is seeing is all in his head.
Right. Well, it was funny that the end of the last episode was funny because it's like Aaron double cross, and then he's like, I've triple crossed.
yeah. It was
But
very
Aaron's
much-
like, I have now double crossed your double cross.
It's very,
Yeah,
it's very much like the creators were like, "Oh, let's watch Mission Impossible. Get
Yeah.
some ideas."
Pull off the mask. I'm Zeke. I'm Aaron.
But who has the applesauce?
It very much reminds you of the Tuxedo with Jackie Chan when there's like a double cross, I triple cross.
Triple cross, yeah.
Oh man.
So that's Attack on Titan. We will definitely be doing a pod once the whole thing is done. It
As
may be a tear-filled pod, but that is a-okay.
No, it's not.
But it's gonna be one of those shows, like when a show ends and you're like,
You're
you feel like a
depressed.
part of you's dead.
Yes.
That's what the show will be like.
Yeah, basically.
Because a part of you is running its
And then
course.
you hear Mappa's like, "We've got a spin-off coming," and you're like, "No."
But then a part of you is like,
Yeah.
I need more.
Unless it's Game of Thrones and their stupid spin-off.
That was almost my least favorite, the Game of Thrones finale.
Ooh, that would have been a really good one.
Game of Thrones finale.
Because
For
the most
sure.
disappointing.
I believe our producer was our guest for that one.
I think he was, yeah.
Was I for the finale, or just?
I think you were for
the
one other-
season 7.
You were one
finale?
for another episode, and then I think also the finale.
I liked. Yeah, I think maybe I was, but I did like the season.
The last season.
Yeah,
That's
not because
why
it
we
was
missed.
good,
No, it wasn't.
just because it was entertaining.
Krishna, you have a 60-second
yes.
pitch for us.
Yes.
Let me get my clock out here. So Krishna's got 60 seconds to convince us as to why we should spend our hard-earned free time watching Kuriko's basketball, now on Netflix, correct?
Yes. Well, you've already started the pitch.
There we go. Here we go. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Awesome. Do you like basketball? Do you like high school? Of course you do. So you should definitely check out Kuriko's Basketball. We'll follow this journey of our young, naive, quiet teenage boy who's actually really bad at basketball, but his love of the game surpasses that of any human you've ever met. Watch him as he takes on each of his former middle school teammates. Collectively, they are known as the Generation of Miracles because their skills rival that of NBA superstars?
Is LeBron James in this?
Do you love power-ups and techniques? Well, you're going to love witnessing the vanishing shot, the phantom pass, ultra zone defense, and so much more. Watch as real-life philosophies play out on a court during a game. The philosophy of individual talent versus teamwork and the love of basketball. You're going to love Kuroko's basketball because it's just so ridiculous and fun.
Done.
That was actually one of our best pitches I think we've ever had.
Whoa. My archive anyone was way better.
I win. So you're in. You're going to watch. You're going to watch. You're going to watch.
I'm gonna say you did enough in that pitch to make me at least watch like the first episode or two for sure.
My job is
I'm
done.
intrigued.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
honestly, the way you described it, I don't know why this popped into my mind, but there was this show on like Kids WB on like Saturday morning cartoon, Shaolin Showdown.
Oh,
where they
yeah,
had
that
the
was a
little
good
like
one.
pendants. When you said like the different power ups, I thought of those of like the little talismans that they have and like those and also like Jackie Chan Adventures where they also had the that's what I'm thinking of, the talismans. It's like, oh, power ups. I'm like, that could be. That's kind of fun. I kind of missed that.
Oh,
Yeah. But, I mean, well, let me ask you this, right? Do you love full-on 15-minute monologues that could never happen in the middle of a game of basketball, but they do? Well, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love the show. It's so. Put it this way: the show like boggles my mind because on one level, it's so bad. But on a different level, it's so good, and you can't tear your eyes away. It's a very confusing show.
Though you'll want to.
How many
But you can't.
seasons is it?
3 seasons and a movie.
Oh, wow.
How long is each season?
20, probably like 24.
Wow, so this is
25
like a
episodes.
That's a
big-
lengthy show.
It's meaty.
And what, it starts, I'm assuming, in like freshman year of high school?
It actually only takes place over 1 year of school.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You get every single day of school.
It's
Basically,
you get
just like in like Star Wars, how we know like every single battle and every single day of the Clone Wars.
Yep.
kind of. Yeah, but you'll love it.
Could you imagine
You'll love it.
that was the pitch, right, for Clone Wars? What if we showed
Every single day and
Day in,
every
day out.
single battle of this war and every single regiment.
Love it.
Think about the toys.
The toys.
That's a good pitch. I'll agree. That is probably one of our better pitches that we've had.
Ooh.
So good job there.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if I'll actually watch it, but we'll see. Our June said he promised to watch
Yeah.
the first episode. At least.
The gift, the
First
reward
couple
is that
episodes.
somebody watches it. For crying out
So
loud.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
I still
So
gotta
let's,
watch Arcade
let's
Racing-
move into
Arcade
Was It
81.
News here. We got a bunch of stuff that's happened this past week because, the world is opened back up for some reason. Mortal Kombat 2.
Do
What's
we need
happening
it?
with Mortal Kombat 2?
I mean,
It's happening. They've
But we knew it was happening.
No, it wasn't official, and now it's finally moving forward. One of the Moon Knight writers is going to be writing the script, so it's happening.
Jeremy.
is it
Slater.
did this guy write the first one?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, see, that would be an improvement, maybe, potentially. The first one was bad.
I believe Slater does not have the most sparkling resume when it comes to some properties that he's reading. Let me check real quick.
Does that make you
here.
nervous for Moon Knight? Because it
Not
does.
really, because he's one of many writers on Moon Knight, so it's not like the entire series. Is
It only takes
Well,
one
he's
bad
he's the
apple.
head writer of Moon Knight.
Oh
FYI.
no!
But he actually wrote the script for the 2015 version of Fantastic Four.
Oh, wonderful!
I can't believe, first of all, that movie came out in 2015. Feels like it was 10 years ago.
It will be soon. In 3 years.
So he's done some other good things. He is also one of the lead writers for the Umbrella Academy.
That's a
Netflix
good.
show.
I do like that show
Um,
quite a bit.
I don't know what that is.
It's that Netflix show. It's based on a graphic novel about a bunch of adopted kids from an alien father that all
Oh.
have superpowers.
DC?
I don't know if it's a DC.
Oh, okay.
property.
I'm getting that confused with Doom Squad.
Yeah.
He
for
was
sure.
also
Yeah, James
the
Bond.
Squad
creator and the head writer on the Exorcist TV show that came out in
Too scary.
2016.
Never watched.
So it sounds like he's got range, which is good.
Yeah.
Range from good
He's
to
got
bad.
he's got one bad thing on his ledger, and you could probably honestly blame
Everybody,
that more on the director.
everybody has at least a couple, one or two.
Yeah.
Like nobody has a perfect record.
Right.
Jonathan Nolan.
Either you have a perfect record or you're a giant douchebag like Jonathan Nolan.
But I will
he a
say
douchebag?
that
You want everyone to go back in
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
That's
Sorry.
his brother.
Sorry.
No, he
then
might- he
he's
might be
a dick-
aligned.
He's a dick because he's associated with Christopher Nolan. Boom.
and
Got it.
he made
choice.
Westworld.
And what?
Jonathan Nolan made Westworld.
Right, but I'm saying like, you can't have a perfect like
Record.
career
Yeah, for sure.
And not be a bad
and
person.
not be a bad person. He's a bad person because his brother is a dick.
I don't understand that logic.
Okay, that's interesting.
This is good
And he has
logic.
a
I will,
perfect
but I
career.
will say though, I mean, with Moon Knight coming out, I'm sure if Moon Knight is a fantastic show, that will obviously bump up Slater's, kind of pedigree, and I think get maybe people more excited for the Mortal Kombat sequel. I know I for one did not like the first Mortal Kombat movie.
It's too bloody.
Christian, you actually, I checked this. You said you did like the first Mortal Kombat movie.
You mean
Why?
the
You
very
gave
first?
you gave it a yes. The new one that came out last year.
Did I say yes?
You know, you and I said no.
That's
Christian
right.
said yes.
I wonder
Christian
what
said
I wonder what I was smoking that day.
Christian said Christian said he was entertained by it.
I mean,
mean,
yeah, but it was still not good.
said
Why
yes.
did I do that?
So let's get
whatever.
so Mortal Kombat 2, if it happens, cool.
Sometimes the
If
moment
not, I
takes
don't
you.
think anyone is gonna care either way if it comes out or not. So whatever.
True.
This is interesting. Arnold Schwarzenegger teased this movie, Zeus. And
Zeus
there's some
movie.
concept art, it looks like, of Arnold Schwarzenegger dressed up as Zeus. It's coming February.
I
so
have a
next
theory.
month.
I have a theory about this.
Let's hear it.
I don't think it's an actual movie. I think he's actually teasing a Super Bowl ad.
Interesting.
Oh.
Okay.
February 2022. That would
Yeah.
okay. Interesting.
And like it seems ridiculous. Like maybe it
seems
is
over the
real,
top,
but it
yeah.
just seems so ridiculous
Okay,
and
okay.
so over the top.
So if it's a Super Bowl ad, what is he What is this picture, character, and graphic gonna be advertising? A car?
No,
A
beer.
Chevy Zeus?
Beer.
Beer?
Beer. This is a beer ad.
Budweiser Zeus?
Maybe.
It's got to be something. Yeah. I
Is
honestly,
car, beer,
I think-
or insurance?
I think it's a big brand, so which will probably be one of those things. And he's teasing the actual commercial aspect of it, which will
Right.
then tease whatever the product is.
Or he's teasing coming February 2022 is a trailer for the movie.
Potentially, that could also be, but potentially dropping during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it's a commercial.
or even better, and actually I like this idea a lot better, and I really hope it happens. This is his podcast. Arnold Schwarzenegger's podcast is called Zeus, and it's him talking to people.
About training?
Or no,
Bodybuilding?
Take it one step further. It's a video game podcast, and he is talking to people while they play Age of Mythology.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'd
because
watch
that
that.
Zeus font reminds me of Age of Mythology. I'm not gonna lie.
that's
Oh my God! Maybe it's Microsoft, and they're making an Age of Empires mythology movie series.
No.
They just bought Activision Blizzard.
Go to the next one. What if it's connected to
Yeah.
this? What if this is marketing?
So
this is the new wave of marketing.
Hold on. So The Rock is teasing that he is bringing one of the biggest, most badass games to screen.
So to the screen. So what if it's Age of
Doom.
Mythology and Schwarzenegger is playing Zeus in Age of Mythology?
And he's playing Hades.
He did drop Madden in an interview as well.
Wait, a Madden movie?
I don't think it's a Madden movie. So there's a lot of speculation. Our
Rock is gonna play Matt.
our producer Michael believes it's going to be Gears of War. There's a lot of internet people thinking
he totally looks like he could play.
he could do
Yeah.
Gears of War. There's another video game franchise very popular on Sony, God of War. People think he could be playing Kratos.
Sure.
And doing that. I personally think he's going to play a little-known video game that came out in the late 2000s. It was part of a Xbox 360 Burger King deal, and it was called Sneak King.
What the
And
fuck?
The Rock will be playing the Burger King and sneaking around and doing stuff.
Get
That
up.
sounds creepy.
Leave.
That sounds like one of the biggest, most badass games.
Again, I think both the Zeus stuff with Arnold, the Rock stuff. I think we're gonna see. We'll know what these are come Super Bowl.
Have you guys
These
seen?
are definitely previews for those ads.
Have you seen the Poseidon?
No.
Is that the one with the boat?
Ralph
that's-
Ralph Mollier is in the same poster, but it's Poseidon.
Okay. So
Also,
this is
that-
Kind
this
of,
is Age of
he's alone,
Mythology.
so he's Poseidon himself.
Also, he dropped that as well on his Twitter feed,
Instagram, yeah.
on his Instagram. So there's a bunch of people dropping this stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe
interesting.
so. It's either like a big ad,
I think it's Age of Mythology.
or it is an actual movie.
I think it's Age of Mythology.
Age of Mythology.
And,
This-
I think The Rock is going to be in
This
it.
guy is, by the way, before you get too excited, is a friend of Arnold's, as well as an actor who had a minor role in Schwarzenegger's Batman and Robin.
Oh
So-
boy, not
It's an
looking
ad.
forward to
It's an
this.
ad.
It's an ad.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. No, it's Age of
an ad.
Mythology.
I think it's an ad. Things that aren't potentially fake and not an ad. So Jason Momoa might be in Fast and the Furious 10.
As the main villain.
I'm kind of confused.
Instead of Gerard Butler,
see,
they got Jason Momoa.
I
Gerard Butler's too old.
fuck you both.
No, but I mean that's why we said that's why I thought Gerard Butler would be a perfect Fast and the Furious villain.
Right.
But they got Jason Momoa instead.
Jason
Props
Momoa
to
can't play
Jason-
villain. When has he
Jason Momoa
ever
is-
played villain?
He's fine. He's
He's
fine.
played a villain before.
In what?
Yeah.
Technically, in Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
Khal
No,
Drogo
he was
is
a good
villain.
guy.
He's a villain.
How is Khal Drogo is not a villain? He just
He's
rules his
misunderstood.
people.
You're right.
He's misunderstood.
What does Drogo do in the beginning?
Yeah, he's
what's,
not
what's
doing
our
anything
introduction?
bad.
He's
No, I
just
heard that's a
buying a
very-
child bride and
Yeah,
then
that's-
Then he
forcing
rapes
himself on her.
That's not bad. You might want to
We're not
rethink what you're
live.
saying here.
Boy, Arjuna's got an
Fine,
editing
he
job ahead
is
of him.
neutral good.
He's neutral. He's chaotic. Good.
Anyway, but he can't play like okay. So let me rephrase. Jason Momoa can't play a real villain.
Ooh, yeah. He can play fake villains. Though.
Fake villains like in Game of Thrones, that's fine because that's a book. But Fast and the Furious, that's real. That's real life.
Okay, I don't know if you saw Fast and Furious 9.
Nope, haven't seen any.
John
since
Cena,
the
our
drift.
beloved Peacemaker in the HBO show Peacemaker, tries to do a more serious villain role in that movie, and he fails miserably.
Well, yeah, John Cena can also not play a villain.
I don't think anyone can truly play a villain in this franchise because
Only
of
Gerard Butler.
half of the villains in the Fast and Furious franchise
Become
get
family.
redeemed and become family.
Family.
It's very Dragon Ball esque.
yes.
Like you see how they're doing Freezer.
Are we seriously gonna get a Fast 10 that's happening?
It's supposed to be the last one.
Wait, no.
Please,
Why would
God,
they
please.
stop? Why would they stop at this point?
Is Momoa replacing The Rock in that? Because I know The Rock was
Rock is
begged
done.
to come back by Dwayne as if he needed him, and then if he never came back and they're hiring Momoa, I wonder if he's playing the same.
But The Rock-
I don't
No.
think it's the same character, but I
The
do
Rock
think
was a
it's-
good guy, and by the end,
Yeah,
of it, so.
Hobbs is a U.S. agent.
So counter to typical Fast and the Furious, the good guy turns into the bad.
That's
guy.
what they tried to do with Fast and Furious 8, where they made Vin Diesel look like the bad guy for half the movie.
Interesting.
You've watched all of these?
I've just seen the trailers for everything but 9 and 1. I've seen 1
Wow.
and 9.
I've
haven't
seen them all.
one. I've only
and then
seen one.
Mysterio, moving into news here. Mysterio is supposedly supposed to be, or at least the concept art for Spider-Man No Way Home came out, and there's this nice little beautiful picture of Mysterio at the Statue of Liberty with Doctor Strange doing magic things.
Doing battle.
That would have been silly, and I'm glad it didn't happen.
Well, it couldn't have been the MCU version of Mysterio, right? Because, as we know, he didn't have any powers.
he also died.
Well, people still think he's alive. Well, no, because people still think he's actually alive because there's like no body recovered.
Real quick,
and
Arjun,
everything
those
like
are
that.
people that are Jake Gyllenhaal stands.
No,
and,
not necessarily.
Their views are not.
It's at least open ended enough where if they did want to bring back Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, they easily could. It's not like a stretch or be like, wow, he was actually dead. Like there's ways to get around it.
We watched his body
But
separate. into
This
a-
concept art makes me think that potentially early on in the movie, or early on in the development of this movie, those villains who were coming through the cracks, some of them potentially came through and there were some battles, and maybe we did get like a authentic Mysterio, and we got some other variants of other.
If I had to guess, because Sony has such a hard raging boner for like the idea of Sinister Six versus Spider-Man, I'm sure at one point there was the idea, like once they kind of figured out we're doing a multiverse thing, and people that know who that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, they'll come through. You could have done like a quick battle thing where it's like the Sinister Six and just hire generic whoever the fuck for whatever, and done it that way. But again, that's just too many things happening all at once. I think what they did, No Way Home, by introducing and bringing back villains that you're familiar with from the other movies makes a hell of a lot more
And
sense.
none from like Tom Holland's own movies. Because if you had brought back Jake Gyllenhaal, I think that would have just been another thing to focus on, and then might have diluted everything else kind of going on as well. Because you would have had to deal with the consequence of this was the guy who revealed your, who you were, and he was a mentor, and he betrayed you, and all that type of stuff. And I think that might have taken away from the Goblin, Peter dynamic that kind of played out.
And then last piece of news here, Masters of the Universe live action movie has cast a He-Man and it's moving to Netflix. So I'm assuming the move to Netflix was not originally part of the plan.
I don't think so. I don't know where the show was originally supposed to go. But the actor who is going to play the live action He-Man, he is from a show that back from a few years ago on Hulu with Aaron Paul called The Path.
Oh.
And he played his son.
That's Hawk?
Yes.
Oh,
He's
shit.
grown up.
He's not a scrawny little boy anymore.
Annoying little
So he,
fucker.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry though. Are you sure that he's not playing? So He-Man, obviously, there's somebody that turns into He-Man.
Yeah.
I think Adam, is he playing then Adam,
The
or is
scrawny
he
Adam
playing
kid.
I don't know.
He-Man jacked out of his brains?
I think he should play He-Man out, Jack. That'd be funny.
There's technically no difference between. Well, no, wait. I wasn't allowed to watch He-Man. I shouldn't speak.
Oh, damn.
I mean, I've been watching the He-Man Netflix anime
Animated
show,
one.
the one that
You
Kevin
have?
Smith EP'd on. It's been interesting because it's the continuation kind of from the 80s beloved cartoon show in terms of like the fallout of whatever happened in those shows, which I never did. But He-Man is technically the same person. It's just you get muscles.
So maybe
So-
it's got like
And powers.
Shazam. Like, remember Zachary Levi plays Shazam, but he's basically wearing a muscle suit.
Right.
Maybe that's what's happening here.
Potentially.
You
Anyway,
just see
I
the
mean, it'll
plastic
be
muscle.
interesting. It's kind of interesting that Netflix is all He-Man and She-Ra.
Yeah, they also had the animated She-Ra that came out a few years ago. That was immensely popular, not connected to the Kevin Smith animated He-Man.
Different. I mean, it's a different animation style altogether.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
that's some interesting news. A lot of interesting stuff coming out. All for the most part, kind of part of bigger franchises. I think out of all of the Was It news that we looked at, I think the Zeus stuff and the Rock stuff is the most interesting. I'm very curious to see what Arnold's little tease actually means.
Do you guys have any guesses for what The Rock's video game movie could be?
I'm afraid it's just gonna be like some kind of weird generic game that, like, I'm wondering, like, is it gonna end up being like a Grand Theft Auto or something? And
It's Halo.
and it's there's the Halo and
TV
shows
shows
already
coming
coming out.
But I think
much.
I think there was a script in circulation for a movie as well.
That's been there for like years.
I feel like they won't do it because they have this show coming out.
Oh.
And it's going to be part Paramount Plus, and if they're doing this, they're building out their Halo universe. Finally.
Haloverse.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, never mind.
Well, let's see. The other video game The Rock made was Rampage.
didn't he do Doom?
Yes, he did.
He also did Doom, so he obviously has some experience here. And both of those movies were bad.
Well, most video games.
Doom was great. It was hilarious because they go first person, like you're playing the video.
Oh
game.
yeah.
And it was
Isn't The Rock the villain?
yes,
Like, you think he's a
Yeah.
hero, but then he just turns
Well,
into
he
the
gets
villain
too
halfway through.
demon-y.
Yeah.
he gets a little demon
Classic.
spawn in him or something.
Classic Rock.
Becomes a bad guy.
It's going to be Tetris.
They kind of have done Tetris with that. Was it Jack Black? Where
Oh, you thinking of Pac-Man or no?
You
there
think
was
of that Adam Sandler movie?
that's it. Adam
Pixels?
Sandler's. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
movie
one.
was
You know,
bad.
it also actually, now that I'm thinking about it, did anybody mention Pitfall?
No.
No.
Because I remember him actually years ago, now that I think about it, mentioning something about Pitfall. I wouldn't be surprised if they're making a Pitfall movie, and that's Atari. Really old. Nobody would think about that.
What if they did a Battlefront movie, and he's going to be a trooper?
Like a Star
Star
Wars
Wars?
Battlefront?
Yep.
Or what if it's Battlefield? Or like one of the first person like shooter games.
What if it's Call of Duty? I
Yeah.
mean, that's one of the biggest video game franchises out there.
I wouldn't say though that that's a like
Did he say character?
you could argue Black Hawk Down is like the live action
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Personally, I hope it's Diablo. But
that would be cool.
I would love to see a Diablo movie.
Yeah.
But I know it'll be bad.
It can't be World of Warcraft because it's already come out.
Yeah.
Right. Unless they're rebooting it.
which would be
That-
amazing.
which is possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is
But
possible.
anyway, we
We'll see.
will
We'll
hopefully
see.
know come Super Bowl weekend when all the big $1 million plus commercials drop. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough budget, so we missed it just by a smidge this year.
Yeah.
We were
maybe
close.
next
Couple
year.
bucks under.
But maybe one of us will be walking around in a T-shirt that says "Was it good?"
Oh, maybe.
Who knows?
That's a possibility.
Wonder who that will be.
Definitely keep an eye out to see if that happens.
There's a possibility.
As always, you can follow us here on TikTok at Was It Good Pod, also on Instagram at Was It Good Pod, on Twitter at Was It Good. We also put these pods in full on YouTube with nice, beautiful VOD cutdowns for you on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/wasitgood. Our website, wasitgood.info, has some really interesting blogs, so definitely check those out. Our next pod is going to be this coming Wednesday on Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 7. Potentially. Again, like we said at the top of the pod, if it is not that interesting, we're going to pivot and do something else.
we will talk about Christian's baldness.
We could do that, yes.
You know, we never answered the question at all of this episode. Was it good?
We didn't, which is fine.
I think we should answer it for one thing.
Okay.
Ravi,
Wait.
was it good? Good.
Yes. Wow. Goodbye.